Hey, this is Yus, a small investment firm that specializes in rate investing, and today I exceptionally have a non-rate related video for you. I'm going to discuss why I'm bearish on Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google. I wanted to film this video because I'm seeing a lot of very bullish takes being posted on YouTube, Seeking Alpha, Substack, and elsewhere. And I think that most of these people are wrong because they're overlooking a very important risk. Before I get into it, let me give you a quick recap of the bull thesis. So it really boils down to three things. Firstly, the valuation of the company is historically low. That is true. Its share price has dropped quite a bit from its peak, even as its cash flow has grown further. And as a result, it now trades at about 19 times its earnings, down from 26 times, which is its 10-year historic average. Second reason is that analysts are still expecting solid growth over the coming years. Currently, the average estimate is that the company will grow its earnings by about 14% annually through 2029. So that's pretty attractive. Finally, the third reason is that investors seem to believe that Google has nicely diversified its business, that it now has many different growth segments, including Android, YouTube, Waymo, Google Pay, many others. So investors seem to think that the company is not that reliant on Google search anymore. But this is really the first big flaw of this thesis, because Google search still today represents about 50% of the revenue of the company. And since this is a high margin segment, it represents about 2/3 of its profits. In some quarters, it's even up to 70% of its profits. And so it is still very heavily concentrated on this business. And unfortunately for Google, I strongly believe that this business is going to suffer greatly from the growing trend of AI. And I'm seeing this firsthand myself. I'm simply not Googling nearly as much anymore. I feel like I've replaced the process of Googling for some information. And unfortunately for them, I think that this business is going to greatly suffer from the growing trend of AI. And how do I know this? I know it first of all from my own user experience. I used to Google every day, all the time, to look for different information, but I just don't do it anymore. I barely use Google now because it's just far more efficient to use a chatbot AI like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, GOOG, or any other. There are plenty that are completely free even. And it's just far more efficient to look for your information this way, asking your question to your AI chat assistant, rather than going on Google and having to click on 10 different links. And so I don't really use Google anymore. I feel like I've replaced the process of Googling in 95% of cases. And increasingly many of my friends are doing the same thing. They're replacing Google with AI assistants. And I recognize here that I'm probably a bit early. But I think that over time, more and more people are going to do the same thing. And they will replace the process of Googling with things like ChatGPT, because it's so much more time efficient in getting the information you're looking for. And here you might say, but isn't Google creating its own AI business? And it sure is. Even now, if you Google something, it will often right on top give you the information you're looking for through AI. But the problem here is that this is cannibalizing its search business, because the reason why the Google search has been so successful and lucrative is because people have to search. They have to click on many different links, and every time they click on a link, they're confronted with different ads. Companies are paying to be on the top of the list, and so the process of searching makes it so rewarding. But if now this is replaced with an AI and you're getting the answer right away, they won't be able to monetize that nearly to the same degree. Maybe they'll be able to put an ad there, but instead of seeing 5 different ads, you'll see just one of them. And if they put too many ads, then you'll just go to a competitor that doesn't overwhelm you as much with ads. So the bottom line is that Alphabet finds itself in a very difficult situation, and there's no perfect solution here. They can either stick to the Google search business and hope that people don't adopt these AI chats as much as I have, but I think that this is inevitable. It will happen because it's simply a better product. Or they can go all in on AI, but this will then cannibalize their most profitable business. So again, there's no perfect solution. In a way, I feel like Alphabet finds itself in a similar situation as Kodak did when digital photography really took off, and they realized that this would kill their traditional photography business. There's no good solution for it. Most most likely they will do a hybrid of the two. They will try to maintain their Google search business because recognizing that all the habits die hard, try to keep milking profit from it as long as they can, all while growing the other businesses. But I think that this will eventually become a significant drag on their earnings growth, and this is not clear yet. But once it becomes clear to people, we will see these analyst estimates come down significantly from today's levels, and with that I expect its earnings multiple to compress further, because even now it's trading at about 19 times. This 19 times would be very reasonable if you expect earnings to grow by 14% per year. If you cut that in half, because its main business starts to experience negative growth, then that would be very bad news for the company, and I would expect its stock to keep underperforming going forward. So in short, Google has essentially now lost its monopoly, and not just that, but AI tools are now replacing search, which is its biggest business. And so this is a real existential crisis for the company. And again, I recognize that the company has diversified with other businesses that are very attractive, but those are in most cases very small compared to Google search. Waymo, as an example, the autonomous taxi robots represent less than 1%. I think it's even closer to 0.1% of the total revenue of the company. And so it's not moving the needle whatsoever. And if this main business starts to experience negative growth, that's going to more than make up for any growth from its other segments. Now I'm curious, please let me know in the comment section below if you're still using Google. And if you do, how much do you use it? Have you replaced it with ChatGPT or other AIs? I'm very curious, what's your personal experience? Hey, sorry to interrupt for a second, but I want to remind you that we just recently posted an exclusive interview with the CEO of Easterly Government Properties at High Yield Landlord, which is my REIT newsletter. This is a very attractive REIT investment opportunity right now, yielding nearly 10%, and you can read this interview completely for free. It will be the first link in the description of this video. Finally, let me know also if you want to see more videos like this one on non-REIT related topics. Also, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for your support. See you at my next one. Bye-bye.